My name is Natalie Jensen, and I teach a practice called Nia. Nia originally stood for non-impact aerobics, put simply, and the founders of Nia, after a few years, started to feel that this thing of calling something a non-something, there is nothing wrong with aerobics and high-impact things. They started to feel like this idea of calling something non had a negative connotation. So they said, okay, we need to look at what it is that we are creating for people, for their bodies. And they changed the wording to neuromuscular integrative action. So there is a lot of integrative movement, integrating the physical sensations in the body, physical conditioning, cognitive awareness and sensory awareness, and really also allowing our emotions to come through and using expressive movement. So Debbie and Carlos Rosas, the founders and creators of Nia, they had a look at 9 different movement forms that they felt can create a sense of balance in the physical body through offering very diverse sensations of movement. So from having originally been an aerobics instructor herself, Debbie Rosas found that a lot of her students were sustaining injuries. She went to a taekwondo master, and this taekwondo master said to both Debbie and Carlos, I'm going to ask you to take your shoes off, first of all. So they both took their shoes off and felt a little bit alien in doing this because they were used to jumping around in their, Reeboks and in the 1980s. Then this taekwondo master said, step onto the mat and I want you to move for me. You have forgotten how to move your body. And this is a couple of people who have dedicated their lives to teaching people how to move their bodies, to be fit and healthy and live a long life, And it was shocking to them to think that they don't know how to move their bodies. So this is where the 9 movement forms came in. So over 10 years, Debbie and Carlos studied Taekwondo, and then they looked at the physiology of the human body. This is Agent Scully, everybody. And they physically contemplated the design of the human body and what the joints are meant to be doing, and whether in our fitness practices are we engaging all of the joints and the muscles and creating this fullest range of movement that we possibly can when we are teaching group classes. So they decided to choose 3 martial arts practices, 3 dance arts practices, and 3 healing arts practices to create this balance that they were looking for. So the Taekwondo gave this grounding, disciplined, focused, beautiful, linear, very artistic-looking movement. And then they thought about, we're missing something circular and more round in what our shoulders require, our ball and socket joints. Aikido is harmonious spherical motion. It's the martial arts of the peaceful warrior. The intention is to move with your opponent's energy and not harm yourself and not harm your opponent. So in Taekwondo, we also have yang, Aikido gives us something in between. And then they said, now we have Tai Chi as well, which is really gentle, mindful, and we're using our imagination and imagining holding a ball of energy and allowing, you can feel and sense in your own body that the sensation of movement is completely different. And so they were loving these gifts of many movement practices that help to condition the body in many, many different ways. By balancing physical movement, they found that cognitively they're able to create different neural pathways, different patterns of thinking and sensing in our minds. So cognitively, there's different neural pathways we can access by changing the sensation of movement and changing the quality of the movement and giving ourselves access to broader range of movement, you know. The dance arts, jazz. We have modern dance, focusing on the ground, our feet, and shapes in the body, and there's a different emotional quality. We can feel dark, we can really access a different sensation, different thoughts, and different, you know, we can explore different ideas through modern dance. And Isadora Duncan dance, very light, playful, childlike, carefree, just letting everything go, not a care in the world. So Duncan dance, so there's very different dance practices. And then we have the 3 healing arts, which is yoga, conscious alignment of bones and joints. And we have Alexander Technique, which gives us a sensation of movement from the top. When we move, we are feeling lifted. And Feldenkrais, teaching people to self-heal through sensing your body when you're moving, when you're still, you know, just being very mindful and present. So through Feldenkrais, everything that we do, we are very conscious of the signals that our body is giving us constantly when we're practicing in Nia. Other side. I want you to think about just only the sensation of pleasure. Only the sensation of pleasure in your joints and your muscles and in your mind as well. A movement looks too complex, let it go. Or just let it travel. You can keep turning. But just stare to the side. Your choice. And just play. Be playful. Make it fun. You know, enjoy it in your body. I'll constantly remind you, sensations of pleasure, you know. We're not doing 20 more. We're not hurting. Sensation of pleasure in your body. So let this dolphin swim. Lower if it's comfortable. The body says, no, don't like pain. So we listen to that. We want to show this thing respect. Listen to it. It's telling you everything that you need to know, this body. See?